Now, you know, I got mad bars like that. Forget that. I got mad bars like that. We're gonna go over a few different topics tonight. How y'all doing? My name's Six Path Dice, Mr. Lane. If you need me, I'm just a manly man in this cruel world. So we're gonna break down. We're gonna keep on breaking down this Drake and Kendrick joint. All right. Again, so for the people who watch my channel, I like to imagine if you found this channel because you want to be a winner. I'm trying to be a winner. I am I'm on a what's that? What do we call that? Incline. My life is on a permanent incline. One of the reasons why I don't make no progress is because you want a steep incline. You want things to happen overnight. My life was on an incline. But y'all live, let me tell you something. A big part of being in the black community, you gotta understand, is realizing that, yo, you are in fucking bizarro land. Oh, you know what? Oh, my background noise was reduced, so you're not going to get that performance now. Because I just did a performance and shit, and oh well. So, whatever. I'm cooked. Anywho, so we're gonna go ahead and cover a few of these news points about this Kendrick Lamar tour. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't show this yesterday because I was trying to show mercy, because Shorty is from Jersey, and listen, I still believe in loyalty and stuff like that, but I ain't gonna hold you. I got mixed feelings about this whole clip right here. So if you can see, right, let's go ahead and make the screen big. This is from, I think, the first night of the tour. Okay, and this is quite a spill. This is quite a spill. Okay, honestly, to be real with you, I feel like they had a meeting with SZA about this move. There's no way that there wasn't a team meeting about SZA. You are on a different level of thickness. You got to realize, since you got the BBL, you will not be able to pull off such moves. Those is white girl moves. You got to realize, whenever black women achieve a certain level of success, they start trying to live out white womanhood. Because for the most part, you got to realize, in black women's minds, white womanhood is success. Now, I've heard this concept all throughout the black YouTube space. I'm not sure exactly who. I don't know if it was BGS Ibmore or not, but you know, but I've heard different people talk about it, right? And basically what it's about is how, and it's basically what black women assume, and they have a mythology in their mind about the lives that white women live. Like, so one of them is that they live a much better life and their man is better than the man that they have. And the man that they have is kinder and more compassionate and more of a human. It's mostly because, and again, this was really tough to kind of understand. And again, you got to realize about, yo, listen, we have a heritage of slavery and being property, especially black men. Okay, I was just saying this shit earlier about how, like, because I've heard this content before, but it's hard to put the words together of saying, yo, for the most part, when black men were no longer the slaves of white men, black women sought to be their basically a slave master. Because you got to think about how black men talk about black women and how black women talk about black men. Like the other day, I mean, I didn't watch the video. I didn't want to watch it. It was a black woman and some non-black man arguing in the subway. And the caption, the way it's phrased is, I swear, the most unprotected. First of all, you've never seen an Asian man fight no one in public about a woman. You've never seen a white guy beat no one up in public about a woman. You've never seen it. Unless that was his girlfriend or his wife or something like that. But even then, how many fights have you seen in public where it was about defending the honor of a woman? You know what I'm saying? And that was a really... In 2021, these are all subjects that were never explored. At least I had never heard these subjects be explored like this in an objective way. For the most part, black people's understanding of the world is based off of the deifying, you know what I'm saying, of black women and centering everything around black women. And making everyone think that, okay, a good life is one where we just make sure mom is happy. You know what I'm saying? And not do what's best for everyone else. I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but at the same time, let's get back to SZA. SZA, you are at a level of thickness, you know what I'm saying, to where that, because the gravity came from the booty. But let's go ahead, you know what I'm saying, and also get into the spiciness of what was going on here. So when she had this spill, right? Kevin Parent. was the fact that she is lip syncing and she's not. I mean, I'm not sure who thought that she would be singing while dancing. I mean, is that a thing that people do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I thought that if you're doing a high level performance like that you would not be able to like dance and sing at the same time. So I don't really blame him, but I ain't gonna lie, man. It's just like all this shit. I feel like in a lot of different ways, like Kendrick really got SZA out here. Because in my heart of hearts, it just something just tells me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying maybe I'm being a light skin hater. Maybe it's the light skinness in me. Pause. But I just get a strong feeling that she don't want to do this tour. Matter of fact, like SZA, you know what? New conspiracy theory. SZA does not want to do this tour. SZA has not even had enough time to get in shape for the tour. That's how you know that she did not plan on going on tour this year. If she knew that she was gonna have to go on tour next year and whatnot, fam, she would have dropped that weight. Because you gotta drop weight for the tour because you gotta move around a lot. You gotta get in shape to go on tour. You know what I mean? Because you gotta perform, you move, this all this different shit. You know what I mean? And SZA is too much of a veteran in the game to be making such a blunder. But I ain't gonna lie, as a black man, I love thickness so much that even this, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And I'm glad she didn't get hurt, nothing like that, or twist the ankle, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But also too, I think I be forgetting that SZA is like a grown ass woman. SZA is not like she's not a kid. This is a grown woman. When I was younger, when I was in my 20s and whatnot, like a woman, when I was like 18, 19, 20, a woman that was like 35, you know what I mean, is grown. SZA's like 35. If I'm 38 this year, SZA's like 35. You know what I'm saying? Which again, I'm not saying you're like an old woman, but like, yeah, you're up there in age now. Like you see, like she getting into that grown woman because she was always thick. You know what I mean? Then she got that BBL and she did all kinds of magic. I did not understand how much SZA's face changed until I saw the pre-surgery pictures. I'm like, yo, you really had like man work done. I did not realize that she had a nose job. She did that shit covertly. It was some Mandela effect shit. Matter of fact, maybe that SZA is from a different, it's like she from a different universe. Who we looking at now could be the clone of SZA. But anyway, I don't think she wanted to be there. But what was people saying online? Let me go ahead and open this drawing up. Let's see, it said, and that's what I was worried about. She's always lazy and lying. This is your first stadium tour. At least get people their money's worth. Like these are the tweets, right? I'm sorry, I gotta read it from my phone. Somebody writes a mess. Someone else wrote, "She'll be out of breath. Her fat ass just because you lipo doesn't mean you healthy." Damn. And someone else said she cannot sing live at all. She's a studio artist. I will never see her live. Love her music though. I can't say that. There's a few performances online where I feel like I've really enjoyed her live vocals. Like I always say, like I have such a complicated relationship with that first album. Well, the first the Control album because I felt like that was the peak of what she can do, right? But of course, like when I hear them with new ears, because at that time I wasn't in control of my life. I wasn't the man in the house. I wasn't winning. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't nowhere near where I am now. I wasn't nowhere near just with everything. You know what I mean, so when you don't have shit going on, undesirable. Matter of fact, you relate more to undesirable women. You relate more to broken women, and you find broken women to be appealing because you feel like, ah, well, she's broken, so she's going to think that I'm so stable, I'm good for her and whatnot, and you don't understand that with her being broken again, she's in bizarro world. Everything is backwards. Your good qualities are not attractive. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, again, I feel like SZA's music and what she represents and whatnot, and I don't think she's a bad person, nothing like that. But like it's like she represents like in the feminist propaganda, the kind of talking and thinking that basically turns girls into cat ladies. Because again, women can't stay young forever. You only have one window of time where like dating and meeting people is gonna make a lot of sense. Not that you can't meet people, but also meeting people is again, it's like getting a good job. You're not going to run into a bunch of opportunities to get actually get hired at a good job. It's going to also let you work there until retirement. That's what good relationships are like because they can last a lifetime. So anyway, it's nasty work, man. Gotta stop lying. I ain't gonna lie though. I love seeing her. I love when she gain weight. I love seeing someone gain some weight. you are you shitting me? Oh man, where my sound effects at, man? I ain't got my sound effects going. You know where shoot. Nigga long way, gotta show that. All right, let's see what else we got, man. I think I had some more clips. So we have one more drawing over here, man. We pull this drawing up real quick. Where it is, where it is. It's on the screen. So right now we continuing to cover this Kendrick Lamar tour, this whole goddamn travesty. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about this set list stuff. So shout out to Kev Talks, Kev Talks. So his caption reads, wait, let me get this straight. You telling me about a good 30 to 35% of this show of two different artists I might add. And mind you, the most sought after parts of the set list are in some shape or form about Champagne Poppy. So let me count the ways. Please join me for a second. So Kendrick Lamar starts to show off on his Crybaby anthem, whacked out murals about Drake and no one supporting him getting the Super Bowl, which he wouldn't have gotten without Drake. That is a key fucking point. I was talking to my boy about this earlier about how an artist and their ego and their stubbornness and their lack of discernment will keep them from becoming great because they won't get the proper support and help. One of the things that kept Kendrick from becoming a better artist was not doing more records with Drake. Future, The Weeknd, everyone who consistently does music with Drake, their music got better and they got better as an artist. 21 Savage. 21 Savage is still here. 21 Savage is very much a part of that wave of artists that like are kind of whack, but good at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But 21 Savage even upped this game. Lil Baby, all these different people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Future, The Weeknd. After doing songs with Drake, all them people, they blew up and they all developed musically. Right? But before he even met Drake, that man already had the vendetta because he goes through what all artists go through, which is the girls you love, the women you love, the women around you liking the artist more than you, or basically seeing them as a legit artist and just seeing you as yourself. They don't see, you know, that they don't see you the same way they see the guy that's on TV or on the radio. So again, Kendrick's verse on Buried Alive is very much about how much he was hating on Drake when they first met. Because he was upset about, like, not upset, but he was jealous of the fact that they were the same age, right? And they were doing the same thing, and he was much more successful. But what it was always about, and I'm going to make this point about niggas that make the kind of music that Kendrick make and Nas makes and shit like that, is that I have to ask, what's more difficult? Creating a moment that can last forever, or creating records that can last forever that people really enjoy, or just having songs that are creative for the sake of being creative, or weird for the sake of being weird. And what it really is that you don't make good songs. Like, not again, I like Nas as a rapper, and I'm talking about overall. I'm not saying not all Nas music is terrible, but like it's not the same standard. When you heard a whole album or heard a whole record, you're looking for him to give you one of them joints. And yes, you have an expectation for Nas, but it's not the same thing. If Nas gives you something that's good, you know how to appreciate it. Whereas with a whole, we're looking for, like, it has to be, we're looking for a better song than last time, or we're looking for you to elevate from last time. That's always the expectation when you hear a whole album. You're looking for him to elevate in some kind of way, and for the most part, he does. It may be in small ways and whatnot, but for the most part, he does. But anyway, um, get back to this post right here. But it's crazy how people who defend Kendrick completely overlook the fact that Drake has made so many people successful. Actually, Kendrick arguably is only on tour right now, but his tour is only has the relevancy that it has because he's talking about Drake. And not only that, like I said before, one of the reasons why the black community has to really jump on this shit and really not champion this shit is because we're basically putting ourselves further into bizarro world where we're letting something that's not good become a positive. As men, this ain't respectable. You supposed to get shit on your own. If you a goat, the last thing you should want anyone to think is that I'm stressing out or I'm obsessed or I'm focused on this guy. One of the reasons why he felt comfortable doing this shit, you know what I'm saying? So like he had a whole set list about Drake. All right, he's performing the diss songs in his set. This is supposed to be a huge artist. Why are you performing diss records in your set? And not only that, he's performing not like us. He has to do that song 5 times, back to back to back to back. This is how a new nigga moves. And it proves you a little nigga. Cause that's what a little nigga would do. This is what a new artist would do some shit like, try to milk a diss record. Cause this is a tactic that new artists use when they're trying to get hot. It's one of the reasons why, you don't respond to niggas when they diss you. You know what I'm saying? Hove will go through it a lot. Until he realized that I'm making this guy hot if I respond to his diss record. He was nigga that taught y'all that. He taught y'all that too. But also, most artists can't resist throwing shots back if they feel as though they're being dissed. But anywho, that shit is crazy. So SZA is performing Rich Baby Daddy, and Kendrick is performing Poetic Justice at this joint. Actually, I think the sound is on. Hold on. Poetic Justice. Poetic Justice. If I told you, get a flat room in the dark, trust me. And we know what's really ironic is the fact that all these people who's supposed to be on the opposite side of this beef with Drake and whatnot, with Rick Ross, all these different people, they all, when they're doing this show, they have to perform songs that they did with him. Because those are the songs that people want to hear. Yet, people will be in my damn comment section telling me Drake's career is over, Drake doesn't matter, Drake is just a thief. I'm like, my nigga, yo. One of the most American things, we have it so good in America, right? That even when someone is great, actually, you know what? I won't be making it in America. You know what? I'm sorry. Hatred and the abuse of black men is American culture. How about that one? How you like that one? You know what? I'm not playing enough sounds. I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry about that. My bad.
Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja.
Getting his protein shaking. I'm not fucking playing. We getting better over here. I'm trying to create we in a winner circle. If you here with the winners. 9:34 at night. I'm eating a protein shake. I got eggs in the kitchen. 8 eggs. 8. 4 strips of bacon. I forgot that I'm supposed to be making potatoes. I'll be right back. Hold on, y'all. Hope I don't forget my train of thought. The intro. I'm not sure what I did, but all right. So I get an intro. So all right, whatever. So let me go ahead and finish reading the caption and whatnot. I know I just left for a second, but anyway, I know I was talking about just I don't know, man. It's just crazy. So let me go ahead and read the rest of my man's comment. He has some interesting things to say. He said, then we have the Euphoria drop, which will let you know we got to satisfy the fans with this song because my catalog won't suffice enough. God forbid Kendrick exists without a Drake mention. Then we get these two performing Rich Baby Daddy, Poetic Justice, which both feature Drake. So the songs are too good or are too good. You have to put them in the list. Not to mention just the plethora of GNX songs alluding to Aubrey in some fashion, let's be honest. Then we got the closing of Kendrick's set with Not Like Us, which will not be the first time of the night Kenny says Drake's Govy name. Think about the next 5 months is Drake, 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 Drake. And you have to perform it or your performance will be critiqued as bad. I thought Kenny was trying to free the slaves, not be one. Bro, this is the stadium equivalent of the Rick Ross and ASAP Rocky shows that have to acknowledge and perform their songs with or about that man. Meanwhile, Drake is about to do wireless with 3 different sets for each night, and I promise you, he won't even play a single beat in relation to these two, cause his catalog is that fucking good. Ain't no begging for poetic justice or needed for filler desperately. Oh, that man is that the world's tour or your girl's tour or Drake's tour? Fire. So I think that's gonna be the last clip we're gonna share maybe. Um, I did also want to touch on the situation with these tickets, man. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna read that real quick. Okay, so let me see. Is that Sharon? My bad, y'all. So what this is showing right here is it's so this is from 23 hours ago, right? So what he's showing is it says despite claims of being sold out, 13,000 tickets remain unsold for Kendrick's Houston show tomorrow. Almost the entire 100 section is empty. I guarantee you that you will soon be hearing stories about him giving free upgrades to people in the nosebleeds to fill those empty seats. So this is the caption. Bro, the fact that they lied the other day, as we saw just hours before the show, plenty of tickets left to be sold, and then they had their NDA signed extras on deck to fill the stadium. And had the audacity for the stadium's Twitter to proclaim it as a sold out show, even though they are handing out upgrades left and right. Meaning that again, if you had a really crappy seat, they were willing to upgrade you so you can move to the front. One of the reasons why liberal thinking is detrimental to the minds of really all people is because you're more easily programmed and you don't think for yourself. Again, the whole public got caught up in a beef between Drake and his label trying to destroy him. That's why J. Cole bitched up so fast. Because they told Cole, listen, and actually, Joe, for the most part, spilled the beans. Joe Budden talked about this on his podcast, and he said they told Cole, listen, keep your mouth shut, you know what I'm saying, or you'll get caught up in what's about to happen. And they basically told him that we're going to try to blackball you the same way that we're trying to blackball Drake. Now, you can't really blackball Drake, but what you can do is bring down his stock considerably. And what can you do now? You can't bring his stock down with music. So what can you do? You can use the antithesis the same way with Nas and Hove. Nas was never a competition for Hove. He never had bigger records. He never had bigger record sales, bigger tours. He never had the same star power. Never had any of that shit. It was just because black people love the activity of reducing a nigga down to a nigga. Meaning that it doesn't matter what you get, what you got, what car you got, whatever it is. With black folks, if they get to feeling too uncomfortable or insecure, they have to bring you down to their level. Black people don't see them. They don't see someone doing better than them and say, "I need to up my game and get that good." They know what they rather do is some lazy shit, which is I'm gonna bring you down to my level. And what can I do to bring you down to my level? I'm going to discredit you. Discrediting someone is an attack on that person. Do you understand?
Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja.
That's my shit. Play that. Yeah, that shit is hot. Pushback line.
Facts. Anywho, all right, so let's go ahead and get into this shit with Shannon Sharp, man. I'm going to play this clip right here, and I want to get my thoughts. There's two clips I want to play. I'm gonna play this clip first because it's a shorter one. Actually, no. We'll go with one from Angela Yee's show. Shout out to Angela Yee. Fair use. Please do not hate on me. Thank you.
They've said her name.
Yes.
At least $10 million during mediations that occurred within the last month or so.
I will say she is stupid.
So she appeared to be thinking about it and then suddenly, without warning, walked away from the offer. He said it was a big surprise to us when suddenly this case was filed without any advance warning. So she was offered a payout. Now, how does that look on Shannon Sharp's behalf? Because I know when this originally broke, people were like, he's innocent. She's trying to get money. She's this, she's that. She got offered $10 million. They confirmed that.
Yeah.
And you can look at it two ways. Is it $10 million because he knows that more is coming and he's in the wrong? Or is it $10 million because you don't want somebody to file anything at all and you want it to just go away?
I think it's $10 million because he knows that they did some crazy stuff.
Right.
Whether it was consensual or not.
It doesn't
But I
look
think
good.
he knows that she's able to spin it the way she's spinning
And
it.
then I think the narrative is also about how young she is and how
Yeah.
young she looks.
Yeah, she looks very young.
You know, she was 19 at the time
Yeah.
and he was 54.
Yeah, that $10 million was a cover up. But also,
So while that's legal, it's also, ooh, what are you doing?
it doesn't look good on him.
And
But
so
she
I'm
should
sure
have
he
took the
wouldn't
$10
want-
million.
I'm sure he wouldn't want people to have known about that. And now
Exactly.
everyone knows because he's also in the middle of negotiating this huge.
Let me tell you something. Before we go any further, what you always see older black women doing is wanting to basically, again, they perform transmissions where they transmit ideas. And what she's doing is using this as an opportunity to transmit the idea that it is wrong for older men to date younger women. All right. It has always been the way of the world that powerful older men had their pick of younger women. All right. My grandfather was 26 years older. Yeah, I believe it was 20. I think there was 26 years apart. Either 17. Let me see. No, I'm sorry. No. I think my grandmother. I think there was. I'm sorry, 17 years apart. My grandfather was around 50, so he was about anyway. But it was a huge age gap. You know what I mean? But that was more normal back then. All right, and they had a long lasting great marriage and had 4 kids, and they lived in a house on a nice block in Irvington. You know what I'm saying, for a long time. But anywho, but she's taking that as an opportunity. You know what I mean, to discourage or to plant this seed in the minds of men and young men that to not look or open their options up to younger women. Okay, to the point where like, yo, I don't want to get into the whole cougar thing and what that means for you as a man when you date or you get involved with an older woman, because the reality is this: unless she's also young, you are not sexually attracted to a woman who was much older than you, not genuinely. All right, because again, but let me tell you something: men's attraction levels and what they're attracted to is based off of how they see themselves and what they drive it and how much money is in their pocket. Because the thing is, I mean, the reason because it's different. When you driving something nice, you don't want an unattractive woman in your nice car. You don't want an unattractive woman in your car, period. But you definitely don't want no fat girl or no ugly girl. You know what I'm saying? In your car. You know what I mean? Expect. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But that's mostly what I want to talk about is older women. You know what I'm saying, always trying to, for the most part, bully and pick on the kind of men who deal with younger women. You know what I mean? And this is the conversation I feel like became more prominent with Kevin Samuels, because again, what it was that Kevin was the kind of gentleman that, for one, could attract younger women, right? And also, what a lot of guys who are very successful, what they realize is that there aren't many benefits to dealing with a much older woman, especially when you got money. because the more money you have, the less that her money is a factor. You know what I'm saying? When you have money where you can afford to send her in an Uber. All right, this whole car shit, I don't want to hear that shit. Fam, if someone will pay for your Uber, that's still a ride home. Well, that's still a ride to and fro. All right, never in the history of people being alive have came regular people. You know what I'm saying, complain about someone getting them a ride from their house to wherever they are. And I'm like, what? Because you just hear all these like sugar baby fantasies. You know what I'm saying? He sent me a car. Get the fuck out of here. Like, nasty work. But anywho, I'm gonna let her finish. I'm gonna play one more video. Then I'm gonna give my breakdown.
Contract.
Yeah.
They're saying $100 million, and he's on ESPN, and so we'll see what's going to end up happening. She's also releasing phone calls and
She's
things that are
letting all the
recorded.
tea
There
out.
is supposedly a videotape that could potentially come out, and Shannon Sharp tried to prepare us for that tape getting released. He also did put out this video of himself denying these allegations and saying that he plans to sue her for defamation.
This is a shakedown. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape.
Tony Busby is the same guy who was trying to sue Hove in court. He was the guy who was representing that other Jane Doe who wanted to remain nameless, you know what I'm saying? Some other white girl who claimed to be at a party with Diddy and Jay-Z when she was 13 years old, and that's where she was attacked at 13 years old. This is the same guy. First of all, this dude is incredibly shady. All right. A real I forget what they call that kind of lawyer, that car accident chase. I don't know. Basically, one of those cheap. He's a cheap he's the lawyer with the dirty suit. When he shows up, you see stains on his jacket. You know why? Because he got stains on his jacket. Are you keeping up with the bars? You keeping up? You keeping up? Huh? But anywho, he's showing this tape right now. But in a previous clip, right, and it's another thing. So I feel like black people feel like they can't resist the opportunity to make what they think is content. And I feel like when black people make content and tell stories, they have to always feign ignorance, right? Or choose to kind of think about it in an ignorant way. When you bring up the sex tape, nigga, that's it. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? He was willing to do all this stuff because he don't want no women seeing him have sex on, and he knows this is a young person, right? And their concept of the world is just different. And on top of that, she's a 304. This is the epitome of feminist thinking. Where, because you gotta realize a part of feminist mindset is that you don't see value in the things that men provide or give, which is why women always approach men like lemons. Shout out to the angry man. This is his metaphor. Women see men like lemons, and when you're done with a lemon, right? Once you squeeze everything you can squeeze out of a lemon, would you mostly move on? You know what I'm saying? Like you move on, and that's it. All right, it's over. You know what I mean? And that's how women see relationships. And when he said that metaphor, I'm like, God damn. But it's a great metaphor for how women yeah. So it's a great metaphor. And a part of feminist mindset is not seeing that man as a whole person, but looking at him, looking at the relationship like a lemon. Once I'm gonna keep squeezing as much as I can, you know what I'm saying? And I don't give a fuck about the lemon staying alive. I'm gonna squeeze the life out of it, and now I'm done. Now it's over. And they perform, and this is how they see everything. And they perform this shit every single. I'm saying every time they have a situation where there's any kind of advantage, right? So essentially, this is what men have to deal with. First of all, she was paid for her time. She was. I'm sure he compensated her handsomely. So you were paid for your time. This man didn't do anything wrong to you, and you still want to try to destroy him. So what I meant by the whole feigning ignorance is the two hosts that keep talking as if they don't understand why he will want to pay this woman all this money. There you go. That was the price he was willing to pay to not have his sex tape out, because obviously she got him doing stuff that know what I mean. So we're gonna go ahead and finish the rest of this video.
That tries to make me look guilty and played into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. You know what happened and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down.
So wait, are we getting a 10-minute little spicy tape?
Maybe. And Tony Busby said on social media, on the one hand, Mr. Sharp and his lawyers claim the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharp offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. TMZ has reported that Shannon Sharp's lawyer did reveal that he did try to give this Jane Doe, and we're not saying her name even though they've said her name.
Yes.
At least $10 million during mediations that occurred within the last month or so.
And I will say she is stupid.
So she appeared to be thinking about it and then suddenly, without warning, walked away from the offer. He said it was a big surprise to us when suddenly this case was filed without any advance warning. So she was offered a payout. Now, how does that look on Shannon Sharp's behalf? Because I know when this originally broke, people were like, he's innocent. She's trying to get money. She's this, she's that. She got offered $10 million. They confirmed that.
Yeah.
And you can look at it two ways. Is it $10 million because he knows that more is coming and he's in the wrong? Or is it $10 million because you don't want somebody to file anything at all and you want it to just go away?
Fam, yeah, again, this is what I'm talking about. And this is what we mean by how stupid black folks can be. This is either they're both stupid or they think you stupid. How do you, fam, if he's saying put out the 10-minute tape, this is from a place of desperation. He's like, all right, I guess we're not going to stop this from coming out. That was the price he was willing. First of all, I can't believe that he would give up 10% of his contract. That would be 10% of, if he's supposed to get a $100 million contract, that would be 10% of that. That's a lot of money. And the black guy's right. She is stupid. She's stupid for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons is because she's letting Tony Busby represent her. His reputation is already in the crap. As a matter of fact, he's not supposed to even be practicing in certain states. His license not even good. From the last time we heard from Beloved, his license not even good. Okay? Also, again, this also speaks to the insatiable, and I remember hearing Kevin Samuels talk about it. He would talk, well, I'm sorry, Kevin Samuels talked about it, and Angry Man's talked about it. And what they talk about is, with the modern woman, psychologically, she is unable to be happy with what she has. All right? Not only that, situations like this, and I heard Angry Man was breaking this down, he was saying situations like this prove how much women are not oppressed. Because look at how much power that even whores have never had this kind of power over powerful men. Are you seeing this shit? Every day, a man who done worked his ass off is being taken down by some woman he was having sex with. Not someone like, again, it'll be different if Shannon Sharp was actually like a villain. You know what I'm saying? If he was like Bane or something like that. Or again, you know what? Yeah, if he was like Bane and doing Bane-like activities and blowing shit up, he was a terrorist. That makes a lot more sense for you women to want to get close to these guys and then take them down. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't feel bad hearing that Bane got a freaky sex tape coming out, or that Bane guy come up off of $50 million. I'm not gonna feel bad about that. It's Bane, but not Uncle Shannon. This is a sad world when a millionaire can't just get some booty in peace. He thinking, yo, I'm messing with this mid Becky, and everything should be all right. He ain't do shit to this girl. Coach Greg Adams had a really interesting theory. He said he thinks that this is a part of this is because of the tape that leaked last year with him and some girl named Michelle, and that this may be a revenge thing as well. Either way, what our generation has to deal with is Florence that for one, if you have anything to lose, especially for the guys who are far up there, you can't even have a girl you see on a regular basis. You can't even have a hooker, a working girl that you can just be a consistent client to. He's been seeing her for 2 years. She been taking his money, and she been living good off his money. But you couldn't just take that. You couldn't just have that. And not only that, the nigga was basically going to retire you. And rather than just take the $10 million for doing no work, you said, nah, fuck that. I want to bend you over. I want to bend you all the way over. I want to, Shannon, I want to bust your on open. That's what she said. With she basically said, nah, I'd rather put this strap on. And Shannon, I want you to bend over for me. This is fucking crazy. I'm like, you want to basically just violate this person. What do you need $50 million for? Especially when you were already paid. That shit is crazy. To get paid way more than what you was getting paid to do a job of work. What? Anywho, shit is nasty work. I want to play this other clip from Monique.
It's different now.
It's different, baby.
Barbecue.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old.
Mo is different now.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
What you trying to say? What you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my life.
Let me tell you what my baby need. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches. You can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Damn.
When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you. You want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on, let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's gonna get your energy back up. You don't need no 20.
So, this is what I mean by black women trying to perform this transmission of convincing men to not for one really convincing black men to not expand their options. Black women have done an excellent job in convincing black men to not even look at other races of women, especially like black men are programmed to be afraid of white women. All right, and be afraid to get with a white woman. It's like mad different things that pop into your head, like that just deters you from the shit. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, people are attracted to what looks the most like them. That's just how men are in particular. Whereas women can be attracted to status and personality and shit like that. And on top of someone they can relate to. It's a normal thing. It just resonates. It's just a different resonation. I.e. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Yeah, us black people think Taylor Swift is mid, but that's how white men like their women. They love like she's the equivalent of a fine, sexy dark-skinned girl. You know what I'm saying? For most black people, because she has like those features, those white features. Like she looks white. Everything about her is mad white. You know what I'm saying? And again, because why? Because he is white. And as black folks, we have this unclear idea of like one, where we stand in juxtaposition with the rest of the world in terms of competition, in terms of culture, in terms of how we're seen. You understand? And again, of course, Kelly Nicole to us is beautiful, but she's black. Of course, we see her that way. But white men don't care about a big booty. They don't care about nice brown skin. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Like most of them, they get a taste for that because of the attention and they like to play out these kinky fantasies. Because white boys got different. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. He made a good point about this shit. If you want to learn how to be freaky, watch white boy amateur porn. That's where y'all seen the freakiest and like the most aggressive and most hardcore prawn it's with white men. All right, even like this ghetto gaggers in general, which is also everything about the fact that they can find black women to go through ghetto gaggers in 2025. Ghetto gaggers was a thing back when I was in high school, and even back then it was like really like it was tough to look at. I'm saying, and but like, yo, if you look online, they're still making videos, and black women are still signing up to go be these. But man, first of all, it's not just them just being rough and them just pumping their faces. They are doing some stuff to them. The shit look traumatic. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit it looks very it looks rough. You understand? It looks rough. But anywho, but going back to the point that Monique is making. Monique is giving that same tired sales pitch about a woman that doesn't exist anymore. These old fat women ain't trying to do shit. That's why they old and fat. She talking about Big Mama. Because again, even though Big Mama might have been a modern woman too, they still were a part of the older world where they still had understood the art of communicating with men and how to look at men and how to see men and how the opposite sexes complement each other. It's from that world. You know what I'm saying? And again, if this was 1950, an older woman, for one, wouldn't be trying to date you with the intention of, I'm going to try to get away from you the first chance I get, or I'm actively looking for a better man than you at 42. Because again, social media has piqued a woman's curiosity. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, your woman will always be thinking about what could be or other realities and possibilities and stuff like that. And that curiosity will lead her to impulsivity, and which will also, again, result in her trying to explore that alternate reality, right? And for the most part, they mostly crash and burn. But and what she's saying makes sense in theory, all right? But at the same time, you're talking to a millionaire. You cannot tell a millionaire that he needs to go out and get an old woman. All right, the optimal age, and I know it's tough to hear, which it really should be tough to hear. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's the same as if you were putting together an all-star basketball or football team. If you were putting together an all-star basketball or football team, or if you want to represent an athlete, right, and really grow with that athlete and get the most out of your relationship and whatnot. And let's say you're a management firm and you manage athletes and whatnot, right? You're not going to pick an athlete that's almost 40 years old. Because what could they be doing at 40 years old that's going to be helpful? What could you put? And I'm saying that's kind of what it's like. And that person could have experience, but when it comes to something like any kind of sports, the best time for you to do it is between 15 and 28. That's the peak of whatever you want to be. It's downhill after that. But anywho, I wanted to speak on that, man. And I think again, these situations are, I think women need to understand that. Be careful what you write in comment sections because the men are reading that, and it's going to contribute to your loneliness. And y'all have to really listen. I feel like this generation is going to wind up going insane. And I've been hearing it on different shows, and I'm gonna say it here too. The women are going to have to really take this time to do some serious introspection and encourage one another to be better people, not just say, well, one of these days I'm going to get into a new relationship. It's going to be way better than the last one. If I don't get it, it don't matter. This weird shit. I don't know how to even put it, but it's sad, and it leads to nothing. The economy is too rough. People who have worked hard their whole lives are not going to be able to enjoy life because you had to work 2 jobs to be able to keep your lights on. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, man. Love y'all. Be safe, y'all. Peace.